Epilogue. The Pathless Path. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Bhagavad-gita 1866. And so John Bunyan's dream ends. The golden gates of the celestial city close behind Christian and hopeful, and we are left, like the dreamer himself, on this side of the river, with the echoes of heavenly music in our ears and a profound sense of longing in our hearts. We have followed Christian from his first anguished cry of despair to his final song of triumph. We have walked with him, stumbled with him, and learned from his every trial. But now that the story is over, the true journey, our own, must begin. I often contemplate this ending in my own meditation practice and in my teaching. The triumphant entry into the celestial city, the shedding of mortal garments, the reception by the shining ones, it all speaks to an ultimate liberation, a final release from the anxieties and miseries of this world. But what does it truly mean for us who are still living, breathing, and striving within this material existence? My students, having glimpsed moments of inner peace or profound insight through their practices, frequently ask what comes next, or how to hold on to those feelings amid the relentless pull of daily life. I remember articulating this very thought to my father, a lifelong student of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, whose insights always provided such clarity. Father, I began, reflecting on the narrative's conclusion, Bunyan's dream ends with Christian's entry into the celestial city. He's reached his ultimate destination. But for us still here, what does that mean? I've heard you speak of a pathless path, of the journey ending where it began. Is the celestial city a place we go to, or a state of being we realize? And if it's the latter, what is the role of all the struggle, all the effort, all the devotion we've cultivated? My father, his gaze thoughtful and serene, smiled. My dear, you've touched upon one of the most beautiful and profound paradoxes of spiritual life, he affirmed. The entire pilgrimage of Christian, with its clear beginning, middle, and triumphant end, is a magnificent map for the soul. Yet the final secret, the one whispered only when the soul is truly ready to hear it, is that the journey is not about arriving at a new place at all. It is about arriving at the place where we have always been. Our eternal home. The celestial city is not a destination we must earn in the way one earns a promotion or a prize, my father explained. It is, as you've understood, Bunyan's vision of what the Vedas call Vaikuntha, the eternal blissful abode of the Supreme Lord. But it is also, in a deeper sense, our original constitutional state. We are not strangers trying to gain entry. We are lost princes and princesses who have forgotten our own identity, momentarily separated from our loving king and our true home. He elaborated on the nature of the soul. The Bhagavad-gita declares that, for the soul there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever-existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. This eternal spiritual identity, or Atman, is our true self. The material body, which Christians shed in the river of death, is merely a temporary garment. Our present body is a sat, not eternal. It is full of ignorance instead of knowledge, cit. And instead of being full of bliss, it is full of misery. All the miseries we experience in the material world arise from this temporary body. But our spiritual body, our Svarupa, is Saksidananda, eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss. So when Christian and hopeful emerge from the river of death in their shining clothes, they are not acquiring something new, my father clarified. They are simply revealing their original untarnished spiritual form, which was always present, merely obscured by the dust and mud of material conditioning, the false ego, ahankara, the anxieties of tamas, and the desires of rajas. This process of purification, of removing the layers of forgetfulness, is what the Gita calls achieving the Brahmabhuta stage, where one becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed to every living entity. In that state he attains pure devotional service unto me. This supreme abode of the Lord Vaikuntha is beyond the material realm, not illumined by the sun or moon, nor by fire or electricity. Those who reach it never return to this material world. It's a realm of eternal knowledge, joy, and loving service. The goal, then, is not to go to the celestial city as a new place, but to realize the celestial city as our intrinsic reality, to reawaken our dormant spiritual consciousness and return to our eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord. This is the essence of coming back to me. Surrender as the key. You asked about the role of struggle and effort in this pathless path, my father continued. This is where the paradox becomes most profound. The entire pilgrimage, with all its trials, is the process of removing the layers of forgetfulness. It is the effort of purification, of shedding the false ego that makes us think we are the doer. But the key to success in this effort is ultimately surrender. He then directed my attention to the chapter's motto: abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. This is the ultimate, most confidential instruction of the Bhagavad-gita. It means that all the rules, rituals, and philosophical debates, all the varieties of religion, are ultimately meant to lead us to this one point: complete surrender to the Supreme Lord. When Christian presents his certificate at the gates of the celestial city, it represents this final, complete surrender, a tangible proof of his faith and adherence to the authorized path. Ignorance, who lacked this certificate because he followed a self-concocted path, was tragically rejected, proving that a good heart, without surrender to the divine process, is insufficient. Arjuna's own transformation in the Gita perfectly illustrates this, my father pointed out. Initially, he was bewildered by his own compassion and attachment, unable to fulfill his duty, feeling grief which is drying up my senses. He was lamenting and feeling impotence. He was in a state of great confusion, even telling Krishna, "I shall not fight." But after Krishna delivered the entire Bhagavad-gita, Arjuna declared, "My illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy, O infallible Krishna. I am now firm and free from doubt and am prepared to act according to your instructions." This is the essence of surrender. The illusion is dispelled, memory of our spiritual identity and relationship with Krishna is regained, and we are ready to act according to the Lord's will, not our own whims. The pathless path does not mean inaction or giving up effort, he clarified. It means acting in divine consciousness, free from the false ego, understanding that the Lord is the ultimate doer and enjoyer. It is the realization that even if one is not able even to practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, they can still advance by working for the Supreme Lord, helping in the propagation of Krishna consciousness. This is not renouncing duties, but performing them without attachment to results as a continuous offering. The king's presence that sustains the pilgrim Christian throughout his journey is none other than the Supreme Lord, who is Saikisa, the master of all senses. He is situated in the hearts of all living entities, directing their senses according to their surrender. He is the cause of all causes and never fails in his affection for his devotees. He is the friend who holds Christian's head above water in the river of death, who inspires hopeful to remind Christian of the promises. He is the one who dissipates the darkness born of ignorance with the shining lamp of knowledge. This understanding transforms the nature of effort itself, making it a joyful, loving service rather than a burdensome struggle. This is the inner peace that Christian finds in the celestial city, a peace that comes from knowing who you are, where you belong, and what your eternal purpose is. It is the culmination of all spiritual understanding, a state where one never returns to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection. The continuous pilgrimage. My father's explanation of the pathless path is incredibly liberating and empowering for me and for my students. It dismantles the misconception that spiritual life is separate from daily life, or that true realization means abandoning the world. Instead, it reveals that the journey is continuous, unfolding in every moment, and culminating in a profound reawakening to our eternal identity. I teach my students that the celestial city is not a distant reward but a state of consciousness to be cultivated here and now, by gradually removing the layers of doubts, attachment, and ignorance. Death of the false ego that Christian experienced in the river of death is a continuous process in our lives. The letting go of old identities, the surrender of control, the release of material desires. These are the waves we navigate, and in these moments the support of satsanga, holy association, becomes like hopeful, reminding us of the ultimate truth and the King's unwavering promises. I encourage my students to embrace the paradox. We make sincere effort to follow the path, like Christians' persistent walking, yet we rely entirely on grace, like help pulling him from the slough, or the key of promise opening doubting castle. Our duty, our svadharma, becomes our spiritual practice, transforming every action into an offering. The king is not a distant monarch, but the loving guide within our hearts, the Paramatma, Supersoul, who directs our senses and illuminates our path. He is Saikisa, the master of our senses, who helps us attain mental serenity. The relevance of Bunyan's allegory, illuminated by the Bhagavad-gita, is that it offers a universal map for this internal purification and external surrender. It helps my students understand that their struggles with anxiety, attachment, or despair are not signs of failure, but essential parts of the process. Each trial is an opportunity for a deeper realization of their eternal nature and their unbreakable connection to the Supreme. This understanding also gives profound meaning to the final and most beautiful stage of the pilgrimage: to turn back in our own way and help others who are still lost on the path. The greatest expression of gratitude for the light we have received is to share it. Like the shepherds on the Delectable Mountains, we who have gained a clearer view have a sacred duty to guide and encourage those who are still climbing. Like hopeful holding up Christian's head in the river, we have a duty to support our fellow pilgrims in their moments of doubt and despair. And so, dear pilgrim, as we close this book, a true book opens, the book of your own direct experience. The map has been shared, but the terrain must be traversed. The truth has been pointed out, but it must be lived. The invitation has been sent, but it must be accepted. May your burden become light. May your path become clear. May your trials become lessons. May your journey become joy. And may you discover, in the perfect time, in the perfect way, what the ancient sages and Christian himself discovered. You were always what you sought, you always had what you wanted, you always stood where you were trying to go. It is time to awaken.